Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Stone Star, issue number 4 of 5. This is a digital comic. It's only on digital. Go to Comixology to get your hands on this comic book. Got a little early preview. Thank you, Mr. Zub, and everybody else who was involved in making this free to the reviewers. I did not review issue number 3. I did not review issue number 3 because I wasn't a huge fan of issue number 3. However, do you need to buy it? I'm going to say for the most part, technically, here's something controversial, technically not really, but there's something so crucial that happens in the book that when you realize what happened by reading this issue, you're going to say, oh crap, I got to get issue 3. So, yeah, I'm recommending all the issues. I'm recommending all the issues so far. Yes, including this one. Let's talk about who made this book. We'll talk a little bit about the book itself. So we got the stories by Jim Zub. Line art is by Max Dunbar. The colors is Espen, here we go, I'm going to butcher this name, Grundetjern? Did the best I could. Sorry, brother. Letters, Marshall Dillon. And the logo design, Tim Daniel. The creators are Jim Zub and Max Dunbar. All right, so we get origin stories in this. No, seriously, like background stories, more specifically. This whole book, the whole series, this whole title is an origin story. But we actually get some backgrounds for this story, for these characters that we didn't have prior to this. So Dale and Kikiani. Somebody gets called out for being a traitor by his or her, I'm not going to give you spoilers, by his or her peers. And it seems to be a pretty heavy thing. It seems to be something where it's like this, it almost stops the story. Not in a bad way, where you're just like, oh, whoa, hold on now. Because there was supposed to be nothing but respect for this character. And all of a sudden, oh... This was a hot story. I genuinely enjoyed this. You get to meet sort of Dale's father in this. You get to find out a whole lot about what's going on. And the Quell Rebellion is like at a height right now. This was a really good story. Solid story. As most of the issues are. The previous issue, look, honestly, the only thing I can complain about with the previous issue is that there was just a lot of running in the story. Oh, it looked good. All the running looked good. But there's just parts where, there was a part where I almost stopped reading. I just stared at the image for a little while. One of the many images of running. And I was just like, dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. You know, the movie 10. Yeah, go back and check that out. Yeah. Aside from that, like I said, if you want to skip that story, that's fine. Because what's going to happen is you're going to come to this story, something will be said, and you'll stop and go, what? You'll have to go back and get the issue anyway. So don't screw yourself over. All right? Go back. Make sure you're reading all this stuff. This, almost regret not reviewing issue number 3, but yeah, at the time it wouldn't have worked. Right now, put in perspective, good stuff, guys. There's only one more issue in this, and look, I'm going to say something that I think is crucial to understanding. Somebody asked me not too long ago, like I think it was like 3 days ago maximum, might have only been 2. What do you prefer better? I think it was during the podcast, the Saturday night podcast. Somebody says, do you like sci-fi or fantasy stories better? I was like, well, to be entirely honest, unfortunately, I prefer reading the fantasy stories because usually it's the fantasy stories that are actually good. Can you hear Pearson Airport right outside? The fantasy stories are usually the ones that are good, that people can put the most imagination in. Unfortunately, most of the time, I don't get a very good sci-fi story. Hadrian's Wall is one of them. That's the one I forgot to mention in the podcast. But what do you call it? Yeah, I just... most people can't write a good sci-fi story. That changes with this comic book, with this title, not just this particular issue, with this title. This is an amazing future fantasy story coming from D&D people, you know what I'm saying, guys who write the D&D comic books, who draw the D&D comic books, who kick ass in the D&D comic books. And it's just kind of like Starfinder. Let's just flip the script a little bit, you know what I'm saying, laser swords instead of bastard swords. This was badass. I'm loving this. It's literally, this is right on par with issue number 1 and 2, which had me flipping my lid over. Really good story. Go to Comixology, grab the stuff. Yes, it'll most likely be in trade paperback later, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Good story regardless. But if you're into digital comic books, being able to read this in the format that Comixology delivers and not having to fill up your shelves and your long boxes or your short boxes like you see over there full of comic books, it's nice. It's nice. You'll always have your stuff here. And the Comixology guys are good, are really solid. They will find you. They will go out of their way to find your account for you if somehow you lose it. They won't. Anyway, guys, that's it. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.